Yes, Anya.
चतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा द्विबाहुरपरो हरिः अभाललोचनशम्भुर्भगवान् बादरायणः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् इतिहासप्रदीपेन मोहावरणघातिना लोकगर्भग्रहं कृत्स्नं
Yathavat
लोकागर्भः
Prakashitam.
यथावत् सम्प्रकाशितम्
निःश्रेणुष
निःश्रेयो ब्रह्मलोकस्य वाग्देव्याः कर्णकुण्डले धर्मद्रुममः मूले वाल्मीकि व्यासयोः कृतिः.
Very good. Thanks a lot, Anya. Another general rule, like I have been telling each class, all of you will have to keep your hands joined and your eyes closed. Abhignya and sister Daivik, all of you, whenever there is a prayer happening, it's very important to keep your hands joined and your eyes closed. Okay. Please let us all cultivate that discipline throughout our lives, not just in this occasion. Whenever there is a prayer that is being recited, it's important to maintain silence and understand the words and enjoy the meaning of the shloka. Others, we can discuss later. Okay. You have a question to be asked right now, or you have a problem. Okay. We'll do it later. We'll do it at the end of the class. Okay. Yeah. I'll just share the screen and we'll quickly recollect what we had done yesterday, the point at which we had stopped yesterday. Okay. Just a moment. Sorry. I'll just share it in a moment. Okay. So we had seen the story of Karna and the story of Drona, how Drona becomes the teacher of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. What's very importantly, what we had seen was Drona becomes the teacher of the Pandavas and the Kauravas because he wanted to take a revenge on his childhood friend Drupada. See, that is the painting here. These paintings, by the way, this particular painting is by another fantastic painter called Chandranath Acharya. It's just an extra additional information that I'm sharing here. Fantastic painter who is alive. So he has done many nice paintings on the Mahabharata. By the way, a kind reminder to all of you people who are residents of Bangalore, try to go to Indian Institute of World Culture, where you have the Mahabharata paintings. It's very good that you're learning the Mahabharata story, and there's an exhibition of paintings right now happening. So it would be good for all of you to go and see. So this is the instance where Drupada, who is the friend of Drona, says that he won't give anything to Drona, who is in pain, who is poor. So absolutely not the good sign of a good friend. So Drupada was a very arrogant person, unfortunately. In their childhood, Drona and Drupada were very good friends. But as they grew up, because Drupada came to a seat of power, he became very arrogant and he forgot his promise. He forgot his friendship with Drona. See, this is a very important lesson for all of us to learn. See, many of you are very young children now. Once you grow up, you might become very important people. You might become very recognized people in the society. You might become the biggest person in a company, in a software company, or you might become a very great scientist, etc. But that doesn't mean that you should forget your childhood friends. You must always keep in mind that it's important to be affectionate. It is important to be kind to all your friends, not just your friends, to everybody in the society. See, Drupada was the king. Isn't it the duty of a king to take care of every citizen in his country? Right? It is the duty of a king to take care of everyone. Here, Drupada does not even respect his own friend. That was very unfortunate, not the good quality of a king. Right? But then see what Drona does is that he holds on this animosity, he holds on this grudge, and he wants to teach Drupada a lesson. That is why he comes to Hastinapura, all that we have seen, and he becomes the teacher of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. And then when this little boy Ekalavya comes asking to be the student of Drona, Drona says that you cannot be my student. And then later on, they discover that the Ekalavya is learning in front of a Vigraha of Dronacharya. And he had learned special skills which Arjuna and the other Pandavas and the Kauravas did not know. Drona still takes a Guru Dakshina from Ekalavya. This is what we had seen. Connected with this, many people had asked me doubts, especially the older people had asked me these doubts. The younger ones never have such questions. Their minds have very good understanding. The older people asked, some of them had mailed me, some of them had even messaged me. They said that they had heard somewhere that Drona took away the theme of Ekalavya to make him famous. See, to make a person famous, it doesn't mean that you have to chop off a part of his body, right? From a person whom you have not even taught anything, right? That's absolutely not true. It's not that Drona wanted to make Ekalavya very famous and happy, and that is why he took away the thumb. He just wanted to favor Arjuna. He was being partial to Arjuna, unfortunately. He wanted to favor Arjuna because Arjuna had promised Drona that he would take revenge on Drupada. Right. So this is the instance of Drona asking Ekalavya for his thumb and Ekalavya chopping off the thumb. A very painful scene. So no teacher should be that way. Okay. Now, at one point in time, Arjuna and all the Pandavas, the Kauravas, they go and attack Drupada's kingdom. Drupada's kingdom was Panchala. All of you remember that, right? Drupada was the king of Panchala. And what was the other name of Drupada, Hamsa or Aditi? The other name of Drupada at his birth, Tanisha, any one of you
Yajnasena.
quickly?
Yajnasena.
Yajnasena was the other name of Drupada. Right. So the Pandavas and the Kauravas, all of them together attack Panchala kingdom, and Arjuna defeats Drupada. So now Drona becomes very happy, and the entire kingdom comes under Drona's control now. But then Drona says that one part of the kingdom, Drupada, I'll give back to you. Another part I'll keep under my control. Okay, that happens. Now look at this. Drupada becomes very pained now. Drona is very happy, Drupada is pained. This childhood conflict between Drona and Drupada, even as they grow up, they have not become matured. They were childhood friends. When they become older, they became enemies and they maintain that grudge. So now Drupada is very angry with Drona that Drona's student Arjuna, he defeated Drupada. So Drupada comes with a promise. He takes a vow. He takes an oath. He does a pratigna. He does a pratigna through which he wanted to have two children. He wanted to have a son who can defeat Drona, and a daughter who can marry Arjuna. So he came up with this pledge, and Drupada performed a yaga, and two children were born from the yaga, from the fire of the yaga. One was Drishtadyumna, the other was Draupadi. So Drupada gave birth to two children. The son was Drishtadyumna. The daughter was Draupadi. Draupadi was also called Panchali. She was called Yajnaseni. She was also called Draupadi. There are three names to this girl who was born to Drupada. There are four names, in fact. She was also called Krishna. I'll write all the four names here. Her name by birth was Krishna with a Dirdha. See, we have already heard about one Krishna. One Krishna, the first Krishna that we heard about was Krishna Dvaipayana, who was the son of Parashara and Satyavati, who later came to be called Vedavyasa. We have heard about him. Now, there is a lady called Krishna. She is also called Draupadi because she is the daughter of King Drupada. She is called Yajnaseni because she is the daughter of the king who is called Yajnasena. She is called Draupadi because she is the daughter of Drupada. She is called Yajnaseni because she is the daughter of Yajnasena. Yajnasena and Drupada, both were the names of the Draupadi's father, Draupadi. She is also called Panchali because she belonged to the kingdom of Panchala. Panchala Rajya, she belonged there. So these are the four names of the daughter of Drupada. The son who was born to Drupada was called Drishtadyumna. Okay, we'll remember this much and we'll go ahead in the story. Okay, everybody has followed until here. Shall we go ahead? So Arjuna defeats Drupada. Drupada pledges that he will have a son who can defeat Drona and a daughter who will marry Arjuna. Right? He was amazed. Drupada was very amazed looking at the character, the caliber of Arjuna, and he decided that I want to have a son-in-law like him. I want to make him a part of my family. So I'll give my daughter in marriage to him. So now I want a daughter. So through yajna, through yaga, this Draupadi was born, and Drishtadyumna was also born. Drishtadyumna is the older brother, Draupadi is the younger sister. Okay, we'll go ahead. Now, back in Hastinapura, Hastinapura is the capital city. There, now just look at this. Dhritarashtra, the blind father, is there. He has got 100 children, and the five Pandavas are there. The Pandavas have lost their father. Pandu, the father of Pandavas, was a very powerful king. He had expanded the kingdom, he had defeated his enemies, and he had brought lot of peace and prosperity in his kingdom. Right? Pandu had died, but the Pandavas, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, along with their mother Kunti, all of them were living in Hastinapura. Now, the people were looking at the 100 brothers and these five brothers, the 105 of them. All the people of Hastinapura started admiring the Pandavas. The Pandavas are very capable. The Pandavas are very truthful. They are very sincere. They are very honest. And they are very capable as kings. And we want Yudhishthira to become the king. So that is what the people of Hastinapura constantly kept talking with each other. Now, Duryodhana started becoming jealous. He became very jealous of Yudhishthira. See, my father should have been the king and I should have been the king. My cousin Yudhishthira cannot be the king. So, Duryodhana started becoming jealous. In fact, from a very young age, Duryodhana was jealous of Bhima. Suraj, you want to ask something urgently? You want to say something?
Yeah, yes, I had a doubt about the
Will you
what
ask
happened
that at
to
the
Badri.
end of the class?
Okay.
Yeah. All of you, please hold on your doubts to the end of the class. Okay. Nobody needs to raise your hands in the middle, unless I ask a question to a specific person. Only such a person will offer or will answer. Duryodhana was very jealous of Bhima from his youngest of days. Bhima was very powerful. Whenever the Kauravas climbed a tree, Kauravas and the Pandavas climbed a tree, young Bhima, 6-year-old Bhima, used to shake the tree and make all the Kauravas and the Pandavas fall down. So Duryodhana had become very jealous of Bhima. This Bhima seems to be more powerful than me. So he wanted to kill Bhima from his youngest of days. Once, when all of them were playing, they all rested on the banks of a river. Duryodhana and the other Kauravas threw Bhima in the river. But somehow Bhima came out safe from the river. One other time, see, Bhima was very fond of eating a lot of food. So once they fed Bhima with poisonous food, but Bhima digested that food and nothing happened to him. See, this is again not a good attitude at all. See, if you have a brother or a sister who is very talented, should you feel jealous about them or should you keep on hurting them? Obviously not, right? See, now Mayank and Hamsa are cousins. Okay, Mayank is very talented. Hamsa is also very talented. Both of them know Sanskrit. Both of them know Bhagavad Gita. So, should one get jealous about the other? What do you think, Mayank? Should you keep on hurting Hamsa, or will you feel proud of having a cousin like Hamsa? What? Will you
Not
throw her in the river, or Hamsa, will you feed him with some nasty food? See, they are laughing. So cousins will have to be very good friends and appreciate each other and admire each other, isn't it? What do you think, Anisha? You and your sister admire and appreciate each other. You don't trouble each other, right? Even if you one ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತರಲೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, it's only for fun, right? It's not out of hatred or jealousy, right? So both of you can have even your own talents, and both of you can help nurture each other. So that should be the nature between siblings and cousins, and that should be the kind of nature that you share with your classmates also. See, if you see that one of your classmates is very good at mathematics, right? Be an admirer of him. You don't have to become jealous. Try to learn from him. Or if you are very good at mathematics or science, etc., If somebody is not as good as you, somebody is not able to catch up the concepts as well as you, try to teach them. Don't become very selfish, saying that only I should learn maths or I should learn science or whatever. It's very important to share. And people who are not so good in the subject, it is also important for you to be humble and go and approach the person who is good at it. Each one may be talented in a different way. See, for example, just look at the situation. Suppose we have a running race. Suppose we arrange a running race, organize a running race where there is a hare, a tortoise, a giraffe, an elephant, a monkey, a fish, all of them participating, right? So we have different kinds of animals participating in the running race. The hare comes first, okay, because it's very good at running. So we should not start scolding the tortoise or monkey or the fish or the elephant, etc., that all of you are useless. See, the hare is very good at running. The monkey is very good at climbing trees. A fish is very good at swimming. And an elephant is very strong and it can transport so many heavy logs of wood or rocks, etc. A tortoise is very talented because it can survive on land and in water. It's an amphibian. So you have to know that all your cousins, all your siblings, all your classmates will be talented in different kinds of activities, in different kinds of skills. Some of them may be good at math, some of them may be good at running, some of them may be good at table tennis, some of them may be good at Sanskrit, some of them may be good at dance, some of them may be good at music, etc. So it's very important for you to respect everybody, every child around you, every older person around you. But that is exactly what Duryodhana did not do. He did not admire or appreciate the talents that his cousins had, the Pandavas. Bhima was very good at his physical strength. Arjuna was very good at archery. See, Duryodhana was not as good as Arjuna in archery. That is why Duryodhana took Karna on his side. I want somebody who will compete with Arjuna. That was Duryodhana's attitude. See, if he had accepted and embraced Arjuna, oh my God, you're like my younger brother. You are my uncles. You are my Chikkappa's brother. You are my Chikkappa's son, third son of my Chikkappa. So you're as good as my own younger brother. If Duryodhana had embraced Arjuna, there would have been no jealousy at all. Duryodhana wanted to be always competitive. He is competitive with Bhima. He wants a competitor with Arjuna. So Karna joined hands with Duryodhana. Yudhishthira was very good in theory of dharma, and there's nobody who was as good as Yudhishthira back here. Now, coming back to this instance, the Pandavas and the Kauravas have grown up. They are now about 18 years of age. The people of Hastinapura, all of them are very appreciative of the skill of the Pandavas. And all the people of Hastinapura, they have realized that the Kauravas, the 100 brothers and the 101st sister, they are all very jealous of the Pandavas and they can't be good kings. They have realized. So this news reaches Duryodhana through a spy. Do you all know what spies are? Ritvik, Kritika, a spy. A spy is somebody who is an agent of yours. He'll go in the kingdom, he'll collect information from everyone, and he'll come and report to you. Right? Such a person is a spy. So one of the spies of Duryodhana comes and tells him that all the people in your kingdom are very fond of the Pandavas and they want Yudhishthira to be the king. Now Duryodhana again starts getting jealous. See, he has made so many attempts to kill Bhima, he has not been successful. Now he comes up with an idea to throw away the Pandavas and Kunti from their kingdom. We want a permanent solution. As long as the Pandavas and Kunti are in Hastinapura, people will start comparing. The Pandavas are better. The Kauravas are not so noble. The Kauravas are not so upright. So people will start comparing and complaining. Right? So Duryodhana comes up with an idea. So this is an image depicting that. See that there, the person who is explaining is Duryodhana, and the blind king Dhritarashtra is also enjoying the idea proposed. So what does Duryodhana tell Dhritarashtra? You know, father, we somehow want to shoo away the Pandavas. But then momentarily Dhritarashtra says, no, 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 you can't do that to my brother's children. My brother Pandu was very talented, and his children are like my own children. The Dodappa here, he is the older uncle to the Pandavas. So he says that no, you should not harm them. But then Duryodhana gives an idea. How about we send them away from Hastinapura? We will send them to a place called Varanavata. We will build a house of lac or wax. Do you all know wax? See, candles are made of wax. Wax can easily catch fire. So we will build a palace. We'll convince the Pandavas that we have built a huge palace for you in Varanavata, but we won't tell them that the palace is built out of lac or wax. You know what lac is? Have some of you seen rubber trees? Just put your thumbs up if you have seen rubber trees. There is some kind of pigment or some kind of liquid which flows out from the rubber trees, right? So that is lac or something like that. So that is rubber or lac. So there are many trees which secrete these kinds of things. Okay, so if you put them together and build a house or any object which is made out of lac or wax, that can easily catch fire. So Duryodhana also says we'll add more combustible material there, something which can easily catch fire, wood and dry leaves, etc. Using all these, we'll build a huge palace, huge mansion for the Pandavas in Varanavata. And we'll tell them that there is a Yatra Mahotsava to Pashupati happening there. Yatra Mahotsava to Pashupati. Pashupati is another name for Shiva. Bhagavan Shiva, Lord Shiva, Shankara is called Pashupati as well. So what is Yatra Mahotsava? Yatra Mahotsava is what is called Jatre in Kannada today. In Kannada and in Telugu, it is called Jatre. In Odia and in Bengali, it's called Yatra only. All of you know the temple of Jagannatha in Puri, Puri Jagannatha. Puri Jagannatha, there is something called Yatra Mahotsava. What is Yatra Mahotsava? Usually, the god is situated in the Garbhagruha of the temple. Right. So in the Yatra Mahotsava, the image of the deity, the Vigraha of the deity, it is called Utsava Murti. It will be brought out to the city. See, usually what happens is in a town or a city, there might be people who are old, who can't visit the temples. There might be pregnant women who can't visit the temples. There might be handicapped people who cannot visit the temples. So for the advantage of such people, the Yatra Mahotsava is held. Yatra Mahotsava also means Jatre. So in the Jatre or the Yatra Mahotsava, the God himself will be brought out in a ratha, in a chariot. There'll be a huge chariot and pulling of the chariot happens. And there is something called the Rathaviti, the chariot street where the chariot will be pulled. And lot of funfair, lot of stalls and lot of artistic activities, dance, drama, music, harikatha, all of these things will take place during the Jatre, during the Yatra Mahotsava. Right. So Duryodhana comes up with the plan that we will inspire the Pandavas to go away to Varanavata, saying that there's a Yatra Mahotsava happening there. So Dhritarashtra says, the father says, see, look at this painting, he is smiling here. Look at the face of Duryodhana. He seems to be very cunning and he seems to be coming with a very crooked plan. The person behind there is Dushyasana. Dushyasana always encourages Duryodhana. Whatever plan Duryodhana comes with, Dushyasana encourages. So Mayank, at the end of the class, please tell the two shlokas. Duryodhano Manyumayo Mahadrumaha and Yudhishthiro Dharmamayo Mahadrumaha. Just look for it and recite it at the end of the class. We'll discuss that shloka as well. Okay. So you can see that jealousy and that crookedness in Duryodhana's face and Dushasana encouraging it. Dushasana is like an executive officer of Duryodhana. Duryodhana plans and Dushasana executes. Okay. And Duryodhana also says that we will have a person, our own person by name Purochana, who will wait for the right moment. Let Pandavas go and settle there in Varanavata. Let them enjoy in the palace for a few days. When they have no other doubts and when they are very calmly settled there, one day we'll put the palace on fire. So this is the idea Duryodhana comes with. And he calls the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra says, all of you go there. Pashupati, Bhagavan Shiva's Yatra Mahotsava is going on. We have made all the arrangements for you. Please go there. The Pandavas also very innocently believe, and they go with their mother. When they are about to head out, Vidura, who is also the uncle of the Pandavas, I hope all of you remember, Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidura were three brothers, right? Pandu has died. The second brother, Pandu, has died. The oldest brother, Dhritarashtra, the youngest brother, Vidura, are surviving. Vidura calls Yudhishthira secretly. They are just heading out. Vidura calls Yudhishthira and whispers something to Yudhishthira in a very funny language. That funny language only Vidura and Yudhishthira could understand. See, when all of you were very small children, your parents would have been speaking in a language so that you don't understand. If you are all Kannada speakers, your parents will speak to each other in Hindi so that you don't understand. Or they'll speak to each other in English so that you don't understand, right? So if you want somebody not to understand, there are different methods of codified language. So I speak now, if I don't want some of my students to understand, I speak to my friends in German so that nobody else understands and only me and that friend are able to communicate. Or there are some things called kabashe, pabashe, kabashe, etc. So you add that letter ka, nitinu, etenu, matatu, nino, enu, madutidya. So you add a ta there. So that only the two people who speak the ka bashe, they will understand, right? Pa Bhasha is also there, a variant of that, right? So, in such a language, Vidura communicated something secretly with Yudhishthira. Okay. Yudhishthira understood the message. It was a language which only Yudhishthira and Vidura could understand. Vidura and Yudhishthira are quite very dharmic people. So Yudhishthira understood that, and then the Pandavas and Kunti, they came to Varanavata. Just look at this. The story of the Mahabharata is 5,000 years old. Even 5,000 years ago, they had this secret codified language between people. Okay. Then another thing to note is that even 5,000 years ago, Jatre or Yatra Mahotsava used to happen around the country, and people used to be very enthusiastic and curious to participate in that. Next time a Jatra happens in your village, in your town, all of you please make an effort to go there. It's going to be, if you visit, every village usually has this Jatra, the Yatra Mahotsava. All our villages, all our towns, at the center of the town, there'll be a temple. And in the Chaitra Masa, usually all of us are in the Chaitra Masa, by the way. April month. This is the Chaitra Masa. This is when the Yatra Mahotsava will take place. Try to figure out if there is a village or a town nearby, close to you. If there is a Yatra Mahotsava going on, please try to visit it. You will get the feeling of how Pandavas would have felt, how excited they would have felt when they went to Yatra Mahotsava. But if you go to a jatre, please don't stay in a wax house or a lac house. Okay, so please stay in a proper house. Be sure that you don't get cheated by anybody, your cousins or your uncles or anybody. Please ensure that you are in a proper hotel or in a proper relatives place. Okay, anyway. Yeah. So they go there and they start staying. The Pandavas start staying there. And Kunti one day asks, what is this, Yudhishthira? Just before you left, your uncle seemed to communicate something secretly to you. None of us understood what it is. So Yudhishthira says, my uncle told me not to trust anyone, not to trust the place that we are going to, not to trust Purochana. So there is something very fishy, something very smelly here. So Yudhishthira and Bhima, they touch the walls of the palace and see, and they get to know it is wax. It is something which is combustible, as in something which can easily catch fire. So Yudhishthira and Bhima realize that. So, okay, all the jatra and everything happens. So then they find a set of diggers. Diggers are the people who can dig the ground. So they create, with the help of those diggers, the Pandavas, also with Bhima. Bhima is, of course, very powerful, very physically powerful. They create what is called a Suranga Marga. Suranga Marga is an underground passage, underground secret passage leading from the palace or from a house to some other place. By the way, even today, try to visit palaces, possible palaces. Right? In Jaipur, there are many palaces. In Bikaner, in Udaipur, in Rajasthan. In Gujarat, in Baroda, there's a palace, beautiful palace. In Bangalore, there is Tipu Sultan's palace and another palace is also there. Two palaces in Bangalore. Amba Vilas in Mysore, Jagan Mohana in Mysore, Jailakshmi Mahal in Mysore, Lalita Mahal in Mysore. There are many palaces in Mysore. Even today, if you go on a guided tour to any of these palaces, they show you these secret doors to which the people in the palace could escape. See, because enemies will constantly be trying to attack the palace and kill the king. See, if you kill the king, you can capture the entire kingdom, right? So, therefore, it was very important for the people to have these secret escape passages. Right, so this secret escape passage called the Suranga Marga, which is an underground passage, was dug up by Bhima, by the Pandavas, all of them, with the help of diggers. So one day, what happened was, there's a long story. I'm just cutting it short. By the way, these images that you see, these sculptures that you see, are from a fantastic temple in Karnataka. So people in Karnataka, well, people in India, we can be very proud that many of our temples, which are more than 1,000 years old, they have beautiful sculptures connected with the Mahabharata. So these sculptures that you're seeing here, they are in a temple called Amruteshwara temple. Amruteshwara temple near Shivamogga in Karnataka. Yeah, I know that many of you have got summer holidays. Instead of going to some resort or just enjoying at home, of course, you can enjoy at home. You can spend time with your parents, grandparents, and your cousins, etc. Try to visit temples. There is a very beautiful temple, Lepakshi, near Bangalore. People, you can just go in the morning and come back in the afternoon. There are many Mahabharata sculptures. Go and try to identify them. You can even go in the morning to this temple, Amruteshwara temple, which is near Shivamogga. If you're in Bangalore, it takes 3 hours. Just go there. Or the entire Mahabharata is beautifully sculpted in stone there. So you can observe that and come back in the evening. Or if you have more time, just stay there for 2 more days. You can go to Belur, Halebeed, etc. There you can again enjoy the sculptures. So ask your parents to take you to these places. The older people try to go independently, or if there is a parent who will take responsibility and there are children who are willing, please make a group and take them. I'll be very happy and I'll be very willing to be a part of the trip. So if anybody is ready to organize, we can all do a trip to these temples, Amruteshwara temple. Somebody should take the responsibility of organizing it, and we can go with all the children. People who are in other parts of the country or people who are in other parts of the world, come down here. People in America, Germany, Singapore, why don't you visit India during May? Let us all go on a trip. That'd be fantastic, I think. Yeah, so we'll have a visual tour of the Mahabharata. So this is from the Amruteshwara temple near Shivamogga in Karnataka. It is in a place called Amrutapura. So here, what happens is Bhima, Pandavas, and the diggers, they create the Suranga Marga. One day, a huntress, a hunting lady, she comes with five of her sons, and she and her children, all the five of them, all the six of them, the mother and five children, they were very drunk. They come and they want to stay in this particular house. They take the ashraya. The Pandavas were very hospitable. They make these six people stay in the house, and they think that that is the right opportunity to escape from there. They dug the Suranga Marga, so they escaped from there. And Purochana had planned to put the palace on fire that very day. But then, before leaving, Bhima himself puts it on fire and escapes from there. The Pandavas, all the five of them, along with Kunti, escape from there. And Purochana thinks that he has successfully put the palace on fire and he has killed the Pandavas along with their mother. But he does not know that it was not the Pandavas who had died. It was the mother and the five children who belonged to the hunting community that come drunk and they died here in the fire. Okay. So the Pandavas escaped. Bhima was the most powerful one. Nakula and Sahadeva were slightly weak because they were the younger of the brothers, and Kunti also because she was slightly old by then. She could not walk a very long distance. See what you see here in the right, the sculpture on the right side is Bhima carrying Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, Yudhishthira, and Kunti is also walking there. He carries Kunti also for some time. So you can see that Bhima here, who is shown in this big size, he's carrying five of them. Yeah, actually, you can see the five of them. That lady is somebody different. You see that he's carrying the five other people, his own mother and the four brothers he's carrying on his shoulders. Okay, they come and all of them are very tired. For a very long distance, they come running from there. They're escaping from fire. They want to escape from Kauravas. They come running from there and they become very tired. Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, Yudhishthira, and Kunti, all of them want to sleep. They come and sit below a tree, and Bhima is the one who has carried all of them. And they immediately ask Bhima for water. See, they have not even walked. They have been carried very safely, single-handedly by Bhima. But they feel very thirsty and they feel very hungry. And they tell Bhima that we want water urgently. So Bhima is overcome with great amount of pain. He's very pained looking at their state. And he rushes to get water. He goes to a nearby pond, but he does not even have a container to bring the water. So he just gathers it with his uttariya. Uttariya is upper garment. He tries to carry water with that. He rushes back and he sees that all of them have fallen asleep. He tries so hard to get water, but he comes back and sees that all of them have fallen asleep. So now, what do you think will happen? Suppose you are very thirsty, hungry, and sleepy at the same time. Okay, Ahari or Srishti, just answer. Suppose you are thirsty, hungry, and sleepy at the same time. What will be most powerful? Will you wait until your thirst is quenched, or will you fall asleep quickly?
We'll fall asleep.
Fall asleep.
Yeah, sleep is more powerful, right? You'll forget your thirst, you'll forget your hunger, and you'll fall asleep. That's exactly what happened to Kunti, Yudhishthira, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva. Bhima, he rushed. He carried four people. Just imagine carrying four people on your back, on your shoulders, and running such a far distance. And they are the ones asking for water. You should be tired having carried so many people. He also dug the entire passage for so many days, the Suranga Marga. Now they asked for water. He somehow rushed and found a pond or river, uh, water in the Suttariya and came here. He sees that they have fallen asleep. So they were not even awake to take the water which he has brought with so much of trouble. Now he realizes that he must guard them. You don't know the kind of beings who will live in the forest. There can be wild animals, there can be Rakshasas who can attack you, who can feast upon you. Right? Bhima remains awake the entire night, guarding his brothers and his mother. And he starts feeling sad looking at the state of his mother. See, his father Pandu was such a powerful king. Kunti was his queen. No, for no mistake of hers. Has Kunti made any mistake? She has not deceived anybody. She has not been adharmic. For no mistake of hers, she's sleeping in the forest without food or water, without even a comfortable bed. Just imagine how pained Bhima would have felt. I hope this doesn't happen to anybody. Just imagine yourself in that situation. You have escaped with your mother and your brothers and sisters, and they are sleeping under trees. Won't you feel pained looking at the state that your parents are in, that your brothers are in? It's such a painful thing. So Bhima felt very pained and he started crying looking at the state of Kunti. See, it's so important for people to have affection in their family. For no mistake of theirs, the Pandavas and Kunti were suffering here. Okay. Bhima was guarding all of them while they were sleeping. So you see this in this image. By the way, just another information. These images are from Chandamama. This is another very beautiful set of comics that all of you should try reading. Many of them are available for free online. I'll try to share the links for them. Chandamama. These magazines come in Kannada, in Telugu, in Tamil, Hindi, English, Sanskrit, all these languages. The Chandamama is available. It would be the best if you can read these magazines in your mother tongue. If your mother tongue is Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, please read it in the original language. If you can't read in any of these languages, try to read it in Sanskrit. If you can't read it in Samskrita Bhasha, then read it in English. In all the languages, they are available. I'll share the link for it. These are all the cover images because the Chandamamas have beautiful, very well narrated stories of the Mahabharata. This cover image was made by a person called Vaddadi Papai. I'm just giving you this extra information. The other set of images, I had said that they are by MTV Acharya. Some of the images were by Chandranath Acharya. And some more images, I even showed those of Ravi Verma. These are all very good painters, very talented painters. So it's very important for you to know them. See, today, most people do images, they generate images using AI, artificial intelligence. By doing that, human talent is getting lost. So it's very important to know the names of talented human beings who have contributed beautifully to our culture, to our painting tradition, to our sculpting tradition, etc. I even mentioned the temple where the sculptures are found. Okay. Okay. So now when okay, you can look at the recordings. Let us go ahead in the story here. So when these people were sleeping and Bhima was keeping guard upon them, a Rakshasa named Hidimba Asura, he is the older brother. He had a sister called Hidimba. See, the older brother is Hidimba, sister is Hidimba. See, this is one thing which we'll have to know. If it is a man, a masculine word, it will be something like this, Krishna. If it's a woman, it will be with a dirgha, Krishna. Okay. If you see an elongated syllable at the end, that means it's a lady. If it's not an elongated syllable, it's a man. So the older brother's name was Hidimba Asura, Hidimba. The sister, yeah, younger sister was Hidimba. Okay. So now this older brother starts smelling human flesh. Rakshasas were the ones who would feast on animals. They would feast on flesh. They were feasting, they were eating the animals in the forest all these years, but now they have got special fragrance. Even in your house, if your mother has cooked something, if your mother, father, or whosoever has cooked something, it's not that only mothers should cook. Fathers can also cook. You can also cook. Children can also cook. But then usually mothers are called Annapurneshwaris. They have got that unique ability of cooking very tasty dishes. So that is why mothers are very greatly respected in the Indian tradition. By the way, nobody should consider cooking as a secondary kind of job or anything. It's the most important task that anybody can do. Feeding the entire family is the best kind of responsibility that anybody can take. If mothers, grandmothers, sisters are taking up that responsibility, let us all respect them. Okay? They are feeding us, they are filling our stomachs, and they are enriching our teeth. Okay. See, if your mother or your grandmother, whosoever is cooking something, the smell of the food, the fragrance of the food attracts you, right? Even I can identify what my mother has cooked. When I used to come from school, from a distance itself, I could identify what she has cooked and I would come very happy. Okay. Well, that's in the positive sense. But here, a unique smell was felt by Hidimba, Rakshasa. That was the smell of human flesh. Special dishes we can prepare today by killing these humans and eating them up. The Rakshasas were cannibals. Cannibals are those who eat human beings, right? So he sends her sister, who is called Hidimba, to go and capture them and bring them to him. The older brother sends the younger sister, Hidimba. Hidimba comes there and sees from a distance four brothers and the mother is sleeping, but there is this very handsome person who is guarding them. So immediately looking at this Bhima, who was very handsome and guarding the brothers, Hidimba, the Rakshasi, falls in love with Bhima and she immediately wants to marry him. Look at the difference between the older brother and the younger sister here. Older brother wanted to kill and eat them up, finish them off for once. But look at the younger sister. She sees greater value marrying Bhima. If I marry Bhima, I'll get such a nice husband. I can have a very powerful, good looking husband. I can live my life very happily. See, instead of filling our stomach just for once, it's very nice to have a very good companion, a very good husband or wife. It's very important to have, or very good friends, or very good children. It's very important to have. Look at the difference of values between the older brother and the younger sister, right? See, many people, when they look at forests or when they look at fish or whatever, how can I possess it? Let me chop off these trees and make it into furniture. So that is the tendency they'll have. If you chop off the trees, then they're gone forever. But if the tree is surviving forever, as long as it survives, if the tree lives for 100 years or 120 years, there are these huge red trees which survive for thousands of years apparently. Throughout their lives, the trees give food, shelter, and clothing for so many different kinds of beings. After this class, I would request Gauri to send the verses of Bala Bhagavad Gita from the book Shivaramakrishna. There is something called Bala Bhagavad Gita. It's not what it is actually called. It was the first set of extraordinary verses which were told by Krishna as a young boy. He pointed to the trees, right? When he was 8 years old, he pointed to the trees in Gokula, in Vrindavan, and said, "These, you will have to live the life like trees." What are the trees expect very little from us. But however, if you go and stand below a tree, the tree will take the burnt of the heat of the sun. It will protect you from rain. It will protect you from the heat of the sun. It will protect you from the snowfall. It will give you flowers. It will give you fruits, etc., with very little expectation. That is how you must be. Etavat janma saphalyam. Krishna says in the Bala Bhagavad Gita, the Prathama Gita, as it is called. So it's very important to protect nature. That is what we see from the words of Krishna. Coming back here, the younger sister, Hidimba, she sees greater value in protecting these humans, and she wants to be a part of their family instead of consuming them. Okay. She comes in the disguise of a very beautiful lady, and she proposes to Bhima, saying that she wants to marry him. Bhima then asks his mother, and the mother also says that, yeah, you can marry her. And it's good to develop relationships with even people who are living in the forest. Right? Then Hidimba, the Rakshasi, says that I have an older brother, Hidimba Sura, the Rakshasa, who is tormenting many people. He'll be very angry with me if I marry you. So you'll have to fight him. So this sculpture again is from Amrutapura temple, which is near Shimoga, like I said. So here we see Bhima fighting Hidimbasura, the Rakshasa. Hidimbasura is fought by Bhima, and Hidimba is killed by Bhima. And eventually, Bhima marries this beautiful Rakshasi called Hidimba. Okay. They marry, and for a few days they stay together. And Bhima and Hidimba, the Rakshasi, they give birth to a son called Gatotkacha. So that is what you see in the image here, Gatotkacha. Gatotkacha was the son born to Bhima and Hidimba. So as soon as he's born, he grows up into a very youthful, charming, handsome, powerful man. And he tells Bhima that whenever you want help, you just think of me, I'll come to your help. See, now, because of the good nature of this Rakshasi Hidimba, and because of the good nature of the mother Kunti, Bhima and Hidimba were able to have this very powerful child. See, they were thrown away into the forest, but even their times in the forest was used to their advantage. They developed relationships with these Rakshasas, and they also begot a very powerful son like Gatotkacha. Later on, we'll see that when the Kurukshetra war takes place, Gatotkacha comes and supports the Pandavas. And he kills so many enemies throughout his life. And he even saves Arjuna from a very powerful arrow which is shot by Karna. Karna shoots he hurls a very powerful weapon called Shaktyayudha upon Arjuna. Gatotkacha comes and takes the impact of that weapon and saves Arjuna's life. See, good nature, good characteristics can be found in so many people. It's not that all the Rakshasas are bad. Vibhishana was such a good Rakshasa. Prahlada was the son of a Rakshasa, Hiranyakashipu. And Hidimba Rakshasi was such a nice, well-natured person. Ghatotkacha, who was born in the Rakshasa clan to a Rakshasa mother, was such a dharmic person. However, even among human beings, you can find very negative nature, you can find asuric tendencies, right? So we should never judge a community of people and say that everybody belonging to this community is bad, everybody belonging to some other community is good. That's not right at all. Goodness can be found in all different kinds of beings. Birds are very good beings. Animals are very good beings. Humans are, many of the humans can be very good. Some humans may have certain shortcomings. They may become hard, they may become very selfish or adharmic, etc. Rakshasas were very good. Some of them were very good beings. Some of them were very selfish beings. So all kinds of people can be found in all communities of mankind, right? So the Pandavas, they go further from there. They come to a place called Ekachakranagara. Okay. I'll just close the screen for a moment and I'll quickly tell about this very briefly. The Hidimba, the Rakshasi Hidimba, continues to live with her son Ghatotkacha in the forest. The Pandavas and Kunti, they proceed upon the advice of Vyasa Maharshi. Vyasa Maharshi, he gets to know that the Pandavas and Kunti are in trouble. He comes and guides them. He tells them, you go and stay in Ekachakranagara for a while. So they go and stay in Ekachakranagara in the disguise of Brahmanas in a Brahmana house. There, what had happened was the king of Ekachakranagara was scared of a Rakshasa called Bakasura. I'll put it here in the chat. A Rakshasa called Bakasura was constantly troubling everybody in the town. He was constantly troubling everybody in the town. So the king of Ekachakranagara had escaped from there. He had escaped from there and he was staying in a very safe palace in a place called Vetriki Gruha. Anyway, that's not important to know the name. So Bakasura was constantly creating torment. He was constantly disturbing the people of Ekachakranagara. And see how irresponsible the king was. Isn't it the duty of a king to protect his people? Just because there is a threat, if he escapes from there, what should happen to the people? Just imagine, just imagine a set of terrorists attack of our country. I hope that never happens. We have got very good administration today, and we are all very safe today in India or in America or in Germany, wherever you are. Suppose another country attacks your country, and your prime minister only escapes from there because he wants to be safe. All of your people, you die. Whatever happens, I don't care. I want to be safe. So that's not a good attitude at all. It is said that it is the duty of a king to ensure that his people are well protected, are well fed. Food, shelter, and clothing, everything is ensured to his people. The king is supposed to ensure. A king should not think about his own comfort first. He must think about the comfort of his people. So there's a very important shloka in the Arthashastra written by Chanakya. So after the class, Hamsa, please send the shloka. Praja sukhe sukham rajnyaha prajanam cha hite hitam. Natma priyam priyam rajnyaha prajanam cha hite sukham. So this is what Chanakya in his Arthashastra says. A king should find happiness in the happiness of his people. And a king should never be selfish. That is what the shloka is saying. But here, the king of Ekachakranagara had become selfish and he had escaped from there. The Pandavas happen to arrive at that village. They take residence in the house of a very nice and a very noble, a very generous, a very helpful Brahmana and his family. The father, the mother, a son and a daughter were living there. So these Pandavas take shelter there. Something interesting happens. What happens? We'll see in Monday's class. Okay, I'll stop here for the day. If there are two or three questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Arush, if it is a question connected with what we have covered today or in the last four sessions, you please ask me. If it's a question about what we are going to cover in the future, I'll reserve my answers to the future. Yes, Arush, you have a question?
Sir, how was Bhima staying alive so long?
Bhima stayed alive for so long.
Yeah, sir.
He was very powerful. He was very well fed. He used to go to gym and he used to exercise very well. It is said that he had the power of 10,000 elephants. Yeah. So he was very strong. See, there are many people who can live for a very long period. So eating nutritious food, having a very nice life cycle, going early to bed and waking up early. So all of these things will give you a very long life, and it will make you healthy, wealthy, and healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay. See, there is also a saying in Ayurveda. This also, Hamsa, please send after the class. Hitabuk, Rutubuk, Mitabuk, Aruk Bhavati. You'll have to eat optimal quantity of food at the right time in the right place, right? See, many of us, if we are fond of something, if we overeat it, that's going to be dangerous. If I'm fond of ice creams today, now it's very hot summer, if I keep on eating ice creams every day, that will spoil my throat, that will spoil my health, right? Hit the book. Even if you like something very much, eat it in a limited quantity. Hit a book, myth a book, limited quantity, whatever is good for your body. See, there are substances which are not good for your body, so you should not consume it. Alcohol is something which is not good. Don't consume it, right? And aerated drinks are not good for your body. Don't consume it. And Rutu book, eat the vegetables and fruits which are according to that particular season. See, now it's the grape and the mango season. Let us eat fruits and vegetables which are seasonal in that particular season, whatever grows naturally in the particular environment. It's important to eat that. If we do that, then we'll get a very long life and a very strong life like Bhima. Okay, others, what's your question?
Sir, I had heard like barbaric could end
Barbarika is the
Mahabharata
son of
in one.
Gatotkacha. Yes.
But sir, why couldn't he end it in one? Why did it take 18
Yeah,
years?
this is a question of the future. I've not come to the story yet. So Barbarika is Gatotkacha's son. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Suraj.
Uh, what happened to Madri? You told that the Pandavas were living with Kunti.
Kunti, right? Yeah. When
Yeah.
Pandu died, suddenly he died while he was in the Himalayas. Madri loved Pandu so much that she also wanted to die. She could not bear the pain of her husband's death. So when Pandu died, his body was cremated, as in every dead body is put into fire, right? It was lit with fire. So Madri
Yes.
also jumps into that fire and ends her life. And she requests Kunti that you are more matured than me, you're older to me, you're like my older sister. Please take care of my sons also, Nakula and Sahadeva. Please take care of them. So Madri also died along with Pandu. Very good question, Suraj. Sorry, I had not mentioned it. Thank you. Thanks for
And I
asking.
had another doubt.
Yes.
In the quiz that the quiz link that you had sent,
Hmm.
it was given how many slokas are in Mahabharata. You had
Ah.
told that 10 lakh slokas, right?
No, 1 lakh shlokas. 1 lakh shlokas, not 10 lakh. 1 lakh.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. If you get a doubt, Suraj and everybody else here, I suggest the following. During the weekend, all of you go through the recordings of all the 5 sessions. And we are almost completing the Adi Parva of the Mahabharata. That is the biggest Parva. We have taken the longest time already. All of you, please finish reading the Adi Parva in whatever book you are referring. I've recommended the books Amar Chitrakatha, C. Rajagopalachari's Mahabharata, or this Essential Mahabharata, from one of these three only. See, from the questions and the doubts that the older people are asking me, it's very clear to me that the older people here in the audience, sorry to say, all of you have gotten confused by reading too many sources which are not authentic. So kindly stick on to the authentic sources which I have been recommending. There are too many distortions today. Devdutt Patnaik, Amish Tripathi, Ashok Banker, all of these people have distorted. There are many public speakers online who have absolutely no knowledge of the original, but still they speak whatever comes to their mind, right? So be very careful about the sources that you are referring to. Chandamama is another source which will give you very good information, very beautiful, very colorful information. Yes, Ahiri. So all of you, please revise from the 5 videos which are available. The second quiz has been posted already. So you can go through that particular class's recording again so that you refresh your memory and then you attempt the quiz. Right. So for those of you who are very regular and you get most of the correct answers, many of you will get gifts from us, from Ramanujamji and myself. Yes, Ahiri, what's your question?
Is Hidimba also called as Hidimbi?
Yeah, in Kannada, she's called Hidimbi. In Kannada, she's called Hidimbi, but in Sanskrit, she's called Hidimba with a dirgha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
Sahana and
also,
Maitreyi. Yeah, yeah.
Acharya, yesterday I visited MTV Acharya's paintings exhibition.
Oh, how did you find it?
It was very nice. I saw all the photos which you had done a slideshow. That
Oh,
Bhima
very good.
falling from the hill.
Yeah, where the rock breaks and all that, right? I'm so glad, Ahiri, that you took interest and your parents also took you there. Thanks to your parents as well. Whoever accompanied you, whoever took you there. Yeah, all of you in Bangalore, 2 more days, 12th and 13th, in Indian Institute of World Culture. This exhibition is there. Please try to make time and go. Yes, Sahana and Maitreyi. Just I'll take this as as my last question, I think. Yeah.
Sir, you mentioned about the wax palace, right? You told us that the drunk woman and her 5 children came there. Was Yudhishthira okay with leaving the woman and her 5 children to die? Didn't the Pandavas do something that was against dharma, like leaving
Yeah,
another
very good
family to die
question.
to save themselves?
I'm very happy that you asked this question. Absolutely, what you say is right. See, the Mahabharata does not tell clearly whether they intended these six people to die there. See, they were very drunk. Okay, so since they were very drunk, probably the Mahabharata does not tell us clearly. Probably looking at knowing the dharmic nature of Kunti, Yudhishthira, Bhima, etc. Probably they tried to wake up the mother and the children and saying, and they would have tried to tell that the house is catching fire. Probably because they were very drunk, they would not wake up. They were not able to wake up and they died, unfortunately, there in the fire. It's not that the Pandavas intentionally wanted to subject them to death by fire. That was not their intention. It so happened, it was just a coincidence. Right? Okay. Okay, I'll stop my teaching today. All of you reserve your questions for later. Now there's already a request of reciting the Purana's name. Okay, I'll give one chance to one person who can do it because yesterday many of you were not able to. Adya, would you do it? So we have finished the class now. This is just a test for the rest of you. Only Adya, where are you? Just raise your hand and unmute. Not you, Adya, the other Adya. Adya Vinish, yeah. We'll just hear to that sloka. And see, you know what? Listen. I know that so many of you have learned now. I can see so many hands going up. I'm very happy. Just in one day, you memorized the shloka and the 18 Puranas, the names of the 18 Puranas. That's amazing. Okay, all of you do one thing. After the class, I'll share the numbers of 3 akkas, 4 akkas, and 1 anna. Okay. Hamsa, Aditi, Rashmi, Gauri, Akkas, and Maya and Kanna. I'll share their numbers. We'll share on the group. Okay. If you have learnt it, send the recitation to them and the names of the 18 Puranas as well. Okay, Daivik, your sister is very cute. Okay, so they'll they'll check if your recitation is right and they'll reply to you. If there is any correction, they'll do the correction. Okay. So today, right now, we'll hear only Adya.
Yes, sir. Sir, namaste, sir. Ma dvayam, bha dvayam, chaiva, bhra chatrayam, va chatushyam, anapalinga
Chatushtayam.
kuskani, chatushtayam, anapalinga kuskani, puranani prachishyate.
Prachakshate. Okay. You want to tell the names?
Yes, sir. Sir, madvayam, Malsya Purana, Markandeya Purana, bhadvayam, Bhavishya Purana, Bhagavata Purana,
Bhagavata Purana.
Bhagavata Purana, Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Vachatushtayam,
One more. Yeah. Okay.
Vayu,
Vachatushtayam.
Vayu Purana, Vishnu Purana, Vamana Purana, Varaha Purana, A.
Okay.
Agni Purana. Na.
Hmm.
Narada Purana. Pa.
Hmm.
Padma Purana. Lin.
Hmm.
Linga Purana.
Hmm.
Ku. Kurma Purana. And
Hmm.
Ska. Skanda Purana.
Fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent, Adya. Very nice recitation of the Shloka and 18 Puranas. Very glad. Next challenge for all of you on Monday, the names of the 18 Parvas of Mahabharata. Try to learn them and come. Not today. We'll conclude with the concluding shloka today. Mayank, the two shlokas which I asked you, we'll take it up next class. Okay? You recite it in the next class. Okay. Now, like I already announced, two quizzes are already online. One more or two more quizzes will be online by tomorrow. All of you try out the quizzes, do revision of the material which I have said, and the videos, Shilpa Pagini, shall we keep them online for the weekend if somebody wants to revise? Yeah. So the entire week's videos will be online only until Sunday night. After Sunday night, this week's video won't be available online. We'll start focusing on the content for next week. Okay. So by Sunday night, try to revise from all the 5 videos and try out the quizzes and read the books. Okay. Shall we conclude? Bhagini, is there another announcement?
Anisha is doing the ending prayer.
Yeah, she'll tell the concluding prayer. Yes, Anisha.
रत्नोदारचतुस्समुद्ररशनां भुक्त्वा भुवं कौरवो भग्नोरुः पतितः स निष्परिजनो जीवन्वृकैर्भक्षितः गोपैर्विश्वजयी जितः स विजयः कक्षैः क्षितावृष्णयः तस्मात् सर्वमिदं विचार्य सुचिरं शान्त्यै मनोदीयताम्.
Thanks a lot, Anisha. Fantastic.